Hello, I'm back with Turkey Talk. Oh! I wanted to give you a little bit of a tour of our garden and talk about what I'm doing out here with my Horsey Permaculture project. So this is, I'll do a slow pan. This is a slow pan of my garden. It's coming along. So I started it in 2019 when I got these horses. And what their job is to do is do all this such hard work of coming and clearing the land. So they came and here we go. They came and they cleared the land of of everything. I got the horses to well, for a lot of reasons, but she was headed to a slaughterhouse in Mexico. But she's so beautiful. I'm so glad that we got her. The place that we got her from, they actually ship 1,000 horses a month across the border. So I actually bought her by the pound. I bought her off of Facebook with PayPal with my credit card. I actually wrote a little song about that. I'll sing you guys sometime. She has several friends that we also got too. The bugs are kind of out. They're ruining my complexion. Yes, right? We love you. So this is Crystal. She's an Arabian. And they have a very big job of turning everything into sand and horseshit. And there was an unexpected consequence of having them, which I wasn't aware of. But if you can see the trees in the background, they... here, like there's one right there. There's another couple. These were really pretty cherry trees. It's kind of like a cherry savanna out here. They're wild cherries, so they're the big kind. And they went ahead and killed them all. They ate the bark up and it destroyed them. So I was really hoping that horses don't cause desertification and that they totally replenish the soil. But I think that they really only do that if they're under strict management, was what I had decided after getting them. I started out with a hypothesis that they were super duper good for the ecosystem, and I changed my mind over time, and now I've decided that they still are really good for the ecosystem and you can do a great permaculture project with them. However, they absolutely will destroy the trees and everything green. The good thing about this is what they're doing is they're turning my sandy soil into actual soil that I can grow food in. So if I'm managing them properly, I should be able to turn a lot of this into an amazing food forest because they get so much input. Every winter they have like 30 round bales and probably that many throughout the summer too. So I estimate about 60 round bales a year, and they're like 1,200 pounds of hay. So they turn that all into horse shit, and then the poop is what we're gardening with. So what I haven't done yet, but I plan and intend on doing, is getting lots of fruit trees in here and having an awesome food forest. So what I did in the meantime is there is a very beautiful herb garden, and then this is a huge garden. So I have lots of really cool plants. Here's some of them. There is my favorite kind of squash in the world. It's a buttercup squash. And here, maybe I can go like this. Can you guys see? So there's a bunch of buttercup squash. And this is all a big mound of horse crap. and they love it. They're just growing like crazy out of it. So this is kind of my garden tour. Over here, I have all sorts of stuff planted. There's carrots, there's lettuces. Aren't they cute? This is a great crop to grow out here. Arugula, and it tastes so absolutely delicious. I absolutely love it. It is amazing. I think I might be an arugula farmer at heart. So good. All these rows right here, I have planted cabbage and broccoli. And then over here we have some tomatoes and some peppers. And I guess this is a tomatillo. Aren't those interesting? So those are those. These are my tomatoes. And then there's Buddy the dog. Hi, Buddy the dog. Yes, hi. Hey, Swoopward. This is the awesome herb garden. So this is an example of what they did. This is really awesome. The horses were in here. There's concentrated horse manure patch. We fenced it off. I did garden in here last year. I had tomatoes and like a whole bunch of other stuff. And then I planted some herb seeds and let a lot of the wild herbs come through here. And now we have this beautiful herb garden. It's kind of everything that grows here. So that's very interesting. I'm going to come through the fence here. The fence is off. So I'll kind of, there's St. John's wort right there. And one of my all-time favorites, these big bushes, catnip. So the catnip is doing excellent. And we have mullein, right? Lots of daisies. They were so pretty earlier. Much more catnip. There's some unidentifiable things over here that I don't really know what they are. Oh, look at these daisies. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they so beautiful? There's this stuff over here called mother's wort, and the bees really love it. Some of that's catnip, but some of us, there we go. There's the motherwort. So I'm really excited about the herb garden. Yay. And I'm excited about having the horses. It's so nice. A lot of people in permaculture, they use all sorts of animals. They use like goats, chickens. Of course, we got the turkeys. Okay. Here's Sassy the pony. She's our resident pony. Essie is so sassy, right? She's so sassy. And they're over here because we're back at the bread pile now. So I'm trying to, yes, the bread pile, the crazy bread pile. Oh, geez. I'm trying to get the trailer unloaded for the night. There's Crystal again. Hello. Hello. They're really wary of the fence, but they can always tell when it's off, and they definitely exploit that when they can. So I have my chickens penned up right now. Here, I'll try and show you through the fence. Hey, chickies! And I will tell you the reason why. This is my short story of the day. You got a little tour? I'll give you a little story. The story of how my chickens fucked up my garden for the last 3 years. So, in a previous edition, I explained the story of how I went into Tractor Supply, and I would say against better judgment, I had no judgment at the time. Under no judgment and zero supervision, I bought the entire flock of baby birds that they had there. And I paid a lot of money for it. I brought them all home. I put them in my studio. they got really big, and then they're kind of getting out of control. I had these double doors in the morning. I would open them up and then go out on my patio, and I loved it. I would call, release the birds, and it was pretty fun. I loved them. And I did, at the time, I had dozens and dozens and dozens, over 100. There's the sad part of the story. I'm not sure if I'm going to say that sad part right now, but I might. In any case, of course, I got the animal control called on me because I was front street of my village, and I have 4 huge glass windows, and everybody could see right into my music and art studio, and they were very upset and concerned that I had hundreds of birds living inside of my house. As you know, they should be. I think I should have probably been more concerned about it too, because I had also refinished my wood floors in there and painted everything white, and it was beautiful. It had like my piano in the corner. I just love the space. And of course, they absolutely destroyed it. I mean, you can imagine 100 plus little baby chicks in a beautifully finished hardwood floor studio. It was like 1,000-foot studio, square foot studio. And needless to say, the animal control officer came over and, he said, you have 3 days to get them out of here, or else you're going to be in huge trouble. So I knew that, I was trying to make like a place for them out here at our farm. But since I only had 3 days, I didn't make an appropriate place for them. This is where the sad part of the story comes in. So I brought them all out here, and I put them in the horse shed. I had a horse lean-to overnight, and I figured I would come out in the morning and work on building them a place. Well, I came out in the morning. This is such a sad part. I hate to even say this part, but this is, I guess, what happens sometimes to very naive and stupid girls like myself. I came out in the morning and I looked out on the field, and they had gotten out of the horse shed, and something got into the horse shed, and I think that what it was a pine marten. And because I looked it up, there's only a couple animals that will just run around and kill everything and not eat it. Well, they did. It was so sad. And they killed most of the birds that I had. There was only a couple dozen left. And that was probably one of the saddest days on the farm. There's a couple other super sad days on the farm too. Especially because I'm a vegetarian. And I got them to rescue them because 80% of them were the white Cornish hens crosses, or Cornish hens. So they were destined to be killed in like a couple months anyway after they grow up. Like, people normally just kill them. But I was responsible for the death of several dozen birds, and to this day it is very sad. And maybe this story can be a warning to other people, or somehow it can help soothe my karma. Don't do that. Like, make sure that your coop is totally secure when you bring your birds out to it, or get birds or whatever. So I went on a mission to make a very secure coop after that, which I did. And I learned a lot about building stuff. So this is my coop now. Here we go. It is very big. It is mostly made out of pallets. I'm just trying to show you in the back. Those are 8-foot tall pallets. And then there's this A-frame in the middle. There's the door to it. Right there. And what I did is I dug under the ground then, and I laid a whole bunch of wire under the ground, like on either side of the A-frame. And then the whole A-frame is lined with wire up both sides of it. And then, so there's many animal proof situations right here, but if you can see, there's a whole bunch of wire like everywhere now. And I swear I learned my lesson. Like, I'm very protective of my birds. I never wanted that to happen. I did that night, I did not bring any of the turkeys out because at that point I had realized that they were turkeys, and I had also realized that they were like super duper expensive. And so I have lots of turkeys, not a lot of chickens. My turkey to chicken ratio is, I have twice as many chickens as I do turkeys. So there's some of the turkeys right now. The ladies are out foraging. I am watching them so they don't get in the garden. Oh, wait, no, they aren't. There they are. Here's the ladybirds. Right here. Yes. So it's like, oh, there's a guy. I love them. They're so weird. So I brought them out here. It's a long story. I brought them out to the farm, and most of them got killed. So sad. The ones that were alive is part of my karma for, you know, the war crimes that I had to pay for the next 3 years. So 2020, 2021, and 2022, they have destroyed my garden. Like, I have not gotten anything out of my garden. And I really wanted to, I have all these great ideas. I'm like, oh, horses don't cause deforestation. Horses do not cause desertification. And let's free range a whole bunch of birds. Those I have proved are totally delusional concepts when farming. Animals absolutely do and can destroy the everything they can and will if left unchecked. So I think the important part that I learned is management. And that is one thing that I was not aware that I would have to deal with in the beginning, is so much of the management part. So I'm dealing with managing things better now. I have this coop built. I have the fence figured out, which is like a whole nother story. I don't think I should even go into the whole fence story. So basically, that's the story. I told the sad part. The sad story of how this vegetarian killed dozens of chickens, and then in karmatic retaliation, they came and destroyed my garden for 3 years in a row. And then also the story of how I have to also say with the horses, I'm going to tell more of the horses story in a later episode. But basically, how I got the horses, and I was very, very certain that they were going to bring magical abundance to the land, and then how they turned it into a dirt pit, killed my trees, and they're so much trouble. They're the most trouble troublesome animals that I think one can get if they are homesteading. Horses aren't. Ponies are. Ponies are the most troublesome. Isn't that right, Crystal? She agrees. Like, yes, blame it on the pony. So, in conclusion, thank you for listening to my long tale and checking out my garden. I'll be back with some more stories. One might not have been the most interesting. It is kind of interesting, but I think it's not the most fun because of how sad it is. It had to deal with, horses going to slaughter, birds getting killed and not even eaten by wild animals, and then my garden being destroyed. So, at least I'm being honest, right? And that is what Turkey Talk Radio, yes, Turkey Talk Empire is all about. So, can I hear it for Turkey Talk? All right. Until next time, over and out.